Instead of a garden full of flowers, as Jacob had expected, the 100-flower palace was on a large hill. General Arthur followed Jacob anxiously, afraid that he would touch something he shouldn't. Keeping General Arthur's warning in mind, Jacob simply looked around and was careful not to touch anything without permission. General Arthur gave him a small tour before leading him out. When they were on their way out of the 100-flower palace, General Arthur plucked 2 small red fruits and handed them to Jacob. "What are these?" Jacob asked. "These are the most common fruits in the 100-flower palace," General Arthur said with a smile. "They don't have any special qualities except for their good taste. You may eat them for fun." There was no reason for General Arthur to trick him, so Jacob put the 2 cherry-sized fruits into his mouth. As he chewed on them, he found that they were sweet and swallowed them right away. A super cool sensation spread from his stomach, reaching outward to the acupoints all over his body. It felt like all his acupoints were refreshed. A surge of strength instantly filled Jacob's body, and even the bracelets on his wrists felt much lighter. "Do these fruits really have nothing special about them?" Jacob asked suspiciously when they walked out of the 100-flower palace. General Arthur nodded and confirmed. "They are just sweet fruits. Their power is very weak. 1 fruit would only give you 5 years of cultivation progress of a master." He spoke very casually, but Jacob was stunned. One of the most common fruits in the palace were equivalent to 5 years of cultivation of a master? What would the rare herbs be like? Jacob thought. General Arthur didn't give him much time to digest this information. He continued excitedly, "Next to the 100-flower palace is the Mystic Creature Palace. There are many ancient beasts that are now extinct in the mortal world. However, we don't have any unique creatures such as Kirin or Phoenix there." After hearing General Arthur's introduction of the Mystic Creature Palace, Jacob felt like he was in a wildlife sanctuary where different animals had their own territories and followed the natural food chain. General Arthur didn't dare venture too deep into that area with Jacob. He pointed out several beautiful animals for Jacob to look at and led him out of there quickly. Next, they went to the profound Cultivation Palace, which had more guards than the previous 2 palaces. This palace was an exquisite 7-storied building, and each level was painted with a different color of the rainbow. The lowest floor was red, whereas the top floor was purple. It was fascinating to Jacob how each palace had a completely different architecture and a vivid, unique look. With General Arthur as his guide, no one questioned Jacob when he entered the profound Cultivation Palace. The guards were informed of Jacob's identity, and they all greeted him accordingly. Embarrassed by their formal greetings, Jacob followed General Arthur into the palace in a hurry. He was not used to getting such royal treatment. Sparsely decorated, the palace had bookshelves built around the circular walls. In each of the compartments on the bookshelves, there were radiant books that were protected by array formations. On the off chance that outsiders sneaked into the palace, they couldn't take the cultivation techniques with them, since they would be unable to break the array formations. Seeing the confusion on Jacob's face, General Arthur explained, "Prince, the strength of our dragons is divided into 8 levels. After breaking through the basic spirit concentration scroll and entering the 1st level, one can cultivate more advanced techniques. The grade of the techniques is divided into the grades of color: red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, blue, and purple, the colors of a rainbow. The cultivation techniques are placed on each of the 7 levels of the profound Cultivation Palace. The 1st level is the widest and is meant for the most common red grade techniques." He led Jacob to the 2nd level and said, "The 2nd level is for the orange grade techniques." Jacob followed him up the levels one by one. When they reached the 4th level, General Arthur stopped. "Prince, we have to stop here. I only have authority to climb up to the first 4 levels. It means that the green grade techniques are the best techniques I have access to. Without the Dragon King's permission, we can't go up any further," he said. Jacob didn't want to cause trouble for General Arthur, so he nodded and cast a glance at the 4th level before going downstairs. After all, he was on the second level of the spirit concentration scroll and had a long way to go before reaching the first level. These cultivation techniques were useless to him right now anyway. Seeing that the prince was so reasonable, General Arthur felt a growing fondness for him. When he was walking down the stairs, Jacob suddenly wondered what kind of cultivation techniques Susan, who had reached the highest level, was using. "General Arthur, in theory, I can reach the 8th level with the most basic red-grade techniques, as long as I work hard, right?" Jacob asked when they were out of the profound Cultivation Palace. "In theory?" General Arthur thought a moment before answering. "I suppose so, but no one has ever reached that level by practicing only red-grade techniques. The better the techniques, the greater the power they contain, and the faster the cultivation will be." Looking back at the towering palace, Jacob was amazed at the large collection of techniques the clan had amassed in the past thousands of years. An ordinary sect would be proud to have 3 to 4 cultivation techniques, but this dragon palace had a collection of hundreds of them. No wonder smaller dragon clans had to come here to borrow cultivation techniques. General Arthur then took Jacob to the Godly Treasure Palace, which had 3 levels, and each level was crammed with all kinds of treasures. The shining, glimmering treasures were protected by their respective array formations. "These treasures are divided into 3 grades: upper grade, intermediate grade, and lower grade. This grading system here is much simpler compared to the cultivation techniques," explained General Arthur. He also told Jacob, "The best treasure for a cultivator is the one most fitting for him or her." Since their dragon clan only collected the good artifacts, General Arthur offered, "Prince, if you like something, you can pick it up. Access to these treasures is not strictly off limits, as with the cultivation techniques. Our clan has the best forger who could make any artifact as long as you could provide the materials." General Arthur stood taller with pride when he said that. Jacob was tempted, since it was the only part of the palace he had seen till now that was not off limits. He spotted a pretty heart-shaped silver pendant, and Sophie's face immediately flashed in his head. "But won't it reflect badly if I give Sophie this treasure as her birthday gift? It is technically from her home," Jacob thought. Noticing Jacob's interest in the pendant, General Arthur took a step forward and suggested, "This is a small-scale storage artifact which could store objects smaller than 2 meters tall. However, I don't think the pendant will look good on you." "Is it difficult to make?" Jacob asked. "It's a simple necklace that has little combat power. It gives you the convenience of carrying things around. This item here would be a better choice for you," General Arthur explained patiently as he pointed at something else. Jacob glanced at the object, but his eyes moved back to the pendant on their own. He made the decision and took 2 steps forward to pick up the pendant. Suddenly, a white flash of light yanked Jacob's hands away. "These bracelets!" General Arthur was startled. "You are wearing an inspector's bracelets? You can't take this pendant then, since these bracelets reject all treasures." "Isn't the water-repellent bead a treasure?" Jacob asked. "It's a bead with a special power. However, it is not good enough to be a treasure. Only those that can be controlled by spells are treasures. The pendant that caught your eyes needs a special spell to open the small storage space inside," General Arthur explained. "Got it," Jacob replied. He was disappointed, as he really liked the pendant for Sophie. "I'd better work hard to reach the first level as soon as possible so I can get rid of these chains on my wrists," he thought, as the bracelets got heavier because of his sour mood. Rubbing his sore wrists, Jacob had to give up on the pendant and walk out of the Godly Treasure Palace empty-handed.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.